Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Mostly Sports Talk. I am your host, Clarence, and today I'm going to talk about the Fury versus Wilder 3. But before I start, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when my latest content is dropping. Now, on to today's topic. But before I talk about this third fight in this Fury versus Wilder trilogy, I have to be honest. I didn't really go into this fight thinking, Wilder had anything different for Fury. I mean, based on what we saw. I mean, you could argue that he lost the first fight, which was a draw. Then the second fight, he got beat up pretty good. And, when he lost, he had a bunch of excuses. Everything from he cheated to my legs were dead because I decided to wear this 40-pound costume. I mean, he really embarrassed himself with all the talk after the fight. And I lost a lot of respect for him at that point. Then he fired his trainer for basically saving him from getting a worse beating than he was already getting. So when he finally made the fight, and I really didn't have much hopes for it, that the results would be any different, then leading up to the fight, he started releasing all these really weird, awkward videos of him training. Like the one where he was like shadow boxing in the water. He was like dipping down and jumping up and stuff. It looked weird. And then he was in the gym using some really bad form, struggling to lift 300 pounds on the bench press, which really isn't all that impressive. I mean, I'm an old man and, I benched 315 a couple days ago. I mean, 300 pounds is not that much weight. Now it seems like he's armed with a bunch of yes men because who else would let him release these videos that have him looking flaky like this? So to me, it looked like he was focusing on all the wrong things. And then, the fight happened. And he came out and he looked different. I mean, he looked a lot more polished. He was actually boxing. He was throwing his jab. He was setting things up. But then he got caught with a hard right in the third and got dropped. And I thought, here we go again. It's going to be a repeat, but it's going to be over even quicker. But then he came back in the fourth and he caught Fury with a right of his own and dropped him. Now, Fury struggled, but he did beat the count. And then he dropped him again with another solid combo. And I was like, all right, we got ourselves a fight here. So I was very pleased to see him put some things together and pretty much have, a very impressive round. Unfortunately, that's the last highlight for Wilder on the night because from that point on, he pretty much lost every round. I mean, you might be able to argue maybe one round, maybe, in the last, from the fifth round on, that he possibly could have won. But yeah, he looked worse and worse every round going forward, taking more and more punishment. And after the seventh, I was thinking, okay, he's going to go down at any minute now. But he just kept hanging on. Then he got dropped again in the 10th, and somehow he beat that count. And he's basically out on his feet. He's falling down almost when he's throwing punches. But he makes it through that round, and he gets off the stool for the 11th. And that ends up being the final round because once Fury was able to really connect with a clean shot, Wilder went down pretty much face first to the canvas for a final time. Now, while the results were pretty much the same for the most part, I did come away with a newfound respect for Wilder. He had every excuse just to stay down. Every reason just stay down and go down, catch one of those shots, and he could have been out of there in the 7th, 8th, 9th round. He could have just laid down. But he just kept going. He never gave up until the referee had to come in and do a no-count stoppage, which was a very good stoppage. But he was still trying to get up, even with that last knockdown. He really did go out like the warrior he said he was. However, he still has too many holes in his game. Coming forward, he's super aggressive and he's fine. He's able to put his punches together and throw those combos and get that power behind him. And again, he's still a heavy hitter and got that one-punch knockout power. But once he gets tired and once he starts backing up, which is what Fury says, and that's his strategy all along. Once he gets him into deep water, he starts backing up and gets tired, he's gonna, take him out. And, that's what he did. He loses all his advantages at that point. Bottom line, he just isn't skilled enough, and he has nothing but a puncher's chance against someone of Fury's skill level. And with that being said, I'm going to close it out right here. So what's next for Fury? Or more importantly, what's next for Wilder? I mean, what fight do you want to see him take next? I mean, and at this point, do you even want to see a fourth fight with Fury? For me, in order for me to be signed on for a fourth fight, I got to see Wilder get a couple more under his belt and look really sharp and look like he's really got something different for Fury this time around. But, we'll see. Money prevails overall, so we might see that fourth fight sooner rather than later. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.